Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Okay, go pee.
I am peeing.
Wow.
Hold on, I'm about to.
Thanks.
That's the open right there.
That's amazing. I am peeing.
Uncouth!
Yeah.
That was uncouth and totally fantastic.
Welcome in to the Jack of the Shadows podcast, episode 18, where we begin the third book of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time fantasy series, The Dragon Reborn.
Welcome, welcome.
I'm Eric VC, and as always, I'm joined by my two turtle doves, Dave and Adam. Say hello.
Two turtle doves.
Here we go! That's me, it's Adam.
It's a me.
It's a Dave.
Dave.
This episode, we will start with View from Dragonmount, discuss what shook our willows, move to the Tighty Whities, look at Perrin in Wolf and Man before discussing what we learned in Dreams. Then it's time to get Randy before looking at the prophecies in this section in Riddle Me This. Finally, we'll wrap up with Coplin of the Week and Who Leveled Up.
Nice.
So let's launch into
Rich.
our View from Dragonmount. So the Great Hunt ended with Balsamon defeating Rand, sorta, and the Rand and friends headed west towards the Mountains of Mist.
This is like a theme. It's like at the beginning of every book is a theme of, is Balsamon dead or not?
Maybe that's what we should rename this series.
I killed you before.
Right.
It's a boomerang, touring, sumerang moment.
So they're headed off.
I'm going to do it in a different way this time, though.
To the west with the Mountains of Mist, while Egwene, Elaine, and Nynaeve and Matt are on their way to the White Tower.
Did you realize what you just did? Egwene, Elaine, and Nynaeve. That was like a fun little limerick there.
Yes, it was just a rhyme.
It's a little tongue twister.
So our new book, The Dragon Reborn, begins in the prologue in the heart of the Fortress of Light, where Pedron Niall hosts several visits that cast some light on the Great Hunt, as well as our upcoming story, The Dragon Reborn. Included in his visitors are Jarrett Bayar, Jaishim Corridon, and Ordythe. In chapter 1, the story moves to a vale in the Misty Mountains, west of Terrebonne, where Rand has retreated with Moiraine. Yes.
I had to.
Perrin, Lan, Min, Uno, and the Shienarans. Rand squabbles with Moiraine as to what they are.
Oh, there was a squabble.
As to what and why they're hiding in the vale.
Eric's
and
prepared
when
all
they
this
should
information.
move
We're just having fun with it.
before they are attacked by Trollocs. After the Trolloc attack, Rand disappears and Moiraine concludes that he's headed for Tyr and the sword that is not a sword. Moiraine sends the Shienarans to Johanna to await her instructions as to their next step. She takes Perrin and Loyal and decides they will chase after Rand while Min heads to Tar Valon to deliver the news to the Amyrlin. And that...
What a good little carrier pigeon.
is the beginning of this story.
A hip hooray to Eric for preparing all that.
Yes, very good.
Yes.
It was concise.
It got a golf clap.
So, with a little bit of an understanding of what we're talking about this week, what shook your willow? Adam.
I like Adam's little chuckle there.
Yeah, what shook your willow this week?
The fact that Perrin has got some gumption going on when he's talking to Moiraine.
I like his gumption, yeah. I
like it. It comes out of nowhere.
I like it, but I don't like it because I like Moiraine better than I like Perrin. So,
so do I, but he's bringing up some good points.
Yes.
To her. So he asks her if she really thinks that Rand is the Dragon Reborn or someone who can use the power until it drives him mad.
There's no clicking happening.
What
Just
I'm
keep
saying,
talking.
Not interesting.
It's very interesting.
No,
it's rich.
Is it possible I'm not as good looking?
Is it possible I'm not as good looking as I think I am?
He also says, you said the pattern would force him to the right path eventually. Is that what this is? Or is he trying to get away from you? So he's just actually speaking his mind. Meanwhile...
David just smacked himself.
Ow! I just smacked my wrist into this chair. It really hurts.
No one else heard it, but I saw
Ding!
it.
Ow! So you were saying?
Suddenly I was looking across the table at a cartoon.
It's just a sprain.
Oh my
God.
Sprained my wrist. Flesh wound I've had worse. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he just keeps going into it. And the funniest part about when he's actually speaking I've been saying for a long time, I wish that people would just speak with each other. And then finally Perrin just goes out and he says this. And meanwhile, Loyal, while it's happening, is like,
but Perrin,
you shouldn't do this.
It's not wise to anger an Aes Sedai.
Yeah, we can read what he says, but I just like the fact that he's actually being like, you keep splitting hairs and lay false trails, Moraine. If he is what you said he is, did it not occur to you that he might know what he has done to do, what he's going to do better than you?
The funny thing is, I don't think he does. Like, I think Rand's got an idea,
either, but
he takes off.
Perrin
but
isn't aware of that.
No, he is not.
But I mean, as we say, does it matter what Rand thinks he's going to do? Because it really seems like that not Tarvalin, but the Taviran. Wow, those words are very
Tarval and Taviran. Yeah, they're interchangeable.
Hey, you say Tarvalin, I say Taviran.
Right. Potato. Let's call the whole thing off. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is an interesting moment, and it's like I didn't know what to think about that. Like I like wanted to slap Perrin because I'm as you know, as probably everyone who listens to this podcast knows, I'm all about Moraine. And
slap my Perrin up.
We are skipping down the street holding hands about
We
Moraine.
are. I'm braiding her hair. Nynaeve would be
question.
happy because I'm braiding her hair as we go along the primrose path. But
skipping and braiding hair.
Skipping and braiding. It's difficult, but we're trying. Like
I've had years of practice.
I didn't know. Like I was a little grumpy. With Perrin. I'm like, Perrin, don't you get on my girl. What are you doing? But you're right. He had some good points, and it was good to challenge Moraine because someone needs to, in the scope of she can't just run willy-nilly, even though I want her to, over the path with everything. So it was good to see him challenge that. But more importantly for me, it was less about him challenging Moraine. It was more about him just finally doing something that was significant. That wasn't
Full
just
bore.
Yeah. He was finally committed to something.
We get he gets a little bit like Rand there with her.
He does. Now,
Well,
I don't know if
he
he
is
got
getting
anything
a little
out of
like
it.
Rand in other ways too, which is interesting to me. But that's,
Yes. I don't know
down
what
the
came
line.
out of it, if anything. I don't really think it led anywhere, but
him
at least,
talking to her.
yeah.
Well, it leads to a lot of information that she like.
Yes,
and not
but
a
I
lot
don't
of
know if it
information,
led
but-
to any change in the system of things.
Well, the interesting thing is that after I went because I said interesting, but
I was wondering what that was.
whoa.
Whoa.
After it all happens at the very end, he's like, "Oh yeah, I did totally."
But
just,
Perrin.
stick up to Moraine.
Yeah.
I did it. I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
All right.
But
so maybe
it
then
brings
maybe
up-
that's
yeah,
it.
So that's mine, and then it also brings up the fact that Moraine is taken by surprise for the first time. That seems very
Well, who would expect that from Perrin? Because up to this point, Perrin's been so Magoo. I mean,
is she taken by surprise?
I would have been taken by surprise by Perrin finally manning up to something.
She
lack of
maintains
gender
her
term,
composure through that entire pseudo confrontation. She's
but-
not.
Well,
she's not thrown off
Moraine.
by it whatsoever.
But I would be
that's not
surprised
what I'm
if.
saying she's taken by surprise by. She's taken
Yeah.
by surprise by that Rand is gone.
Well,
But-
I would be taken by surprise that Perrin finally did something significant when it comes to standing on his own 2 feet because he's
I think
done none of that before. He really hasn't.
No, he hasn't.
Well,
Perrin
okay, let
is
me
a-
rephrase that. He's not done that out in the open.
We're gonna
Yeah.
talk about
We have
Perrin
a
a little
lot
bit
to
later.
talk about.
Well, let's
yeah,
talk
we have a
about
lot.
Perrin later then.
So,
He's a fascinating young muscly man.
so
He is
that
burly.
so Perrin's confrontation with Moiraine is your Willow for the week. Adam, what's yours, Dave?
Mine is Leah, and I find Leah fascinating. It's unfortunate.
Princess Leia?
Yes, with her buns on her ears.
Princess Leia.
Princess Leia. I don't know what we're singing, but we're
You've
singing.
been decapitated by a murdral.
Yes, poor Leah. So there's a lot to Leah. There's a lot to like about Leah, and there's a lot of sad to Leah. So
sad we knew her so briefly.
and
I'm kind of glad we didn't know her anymore. She was getting real annoying.
see, now I liked her.
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, so what are you gonna do? Like, he knows from Min she's destined to die. You get the oh, but maybe she's not moment when
meanwhile Min is like
Min it throws Min for a loop because there's a moment when she gets gonked on the head and everyone thinks, oh, maybe that was gonked on the head.
Right. Rand has that little fit and creates an earthquake, and they come back and she's got blood all over her face.
Yeah, they think maybe that's it. And Min's kind of like, does that mean everything I thought was like bad? Wound. Yeah. But the biggest thing for me with Leah is, so as we know, she's a tinker with her garish clothing and all that. And she goes against the way of the leaf. She goes to try to save
Did you just say she
Perrin.
wears garlic clothing?
Garlic, yes. She's a vampire.
No, she's trying to prevent vampires.
She'd be a real bad vampire.
She's really afraid of Drakkar.
Yeah, Noir. Yeah, she's afraid of that perfume.
She doesn't like
I would
your
be
cologne.
Too. The cologne. She's like, that stinks of the 80s.
Oh no.
there was an entire generation that occurred. Probably people born that occurred from that. But that's besides the point.
Patrick Bateman was born from it. Anyhow.
Right. So she knows. Well, like she fights against what Perrin is about, and Perrin and her have some intense conversations about. Perrin gets on her stuff about. Yeah. If we all just went your way, no one could fight back against everybody else, and we would all die if we didn't, support the way of the leaf. Sometimes people have to fight. There's a method to madness of war, and she, in the moments when it comes to Perrin's life being threatened, she goes. I believe it's against the way of the leaf. She tackles the person trying to attack Perrin. Like she grabs onto him and
that's not pacifism.
No, it isn't. Because she could have stood by. She could have just been passive like everything she's talking about, but she throws caution to the wind, and she does against everything that we think she would do. And obviously it doesn't end well for Leah. She ends up, the prophecy's fulfilled.
She doesn't make a difference. I mean, that Murdral barely even notices. I mean, it's interesting in the narration. It talks about how carelessly he swings his sword back and decapitates her.
But it makes a difference for Perrin.
She doesn't. It might make a difference in Perrin's attitude. It doesn't matter to the Murdral, which is the thing that she's trying to slow down.
You're right, Eric. That is a great description of the Murdral killing him.
The Murdral
killing her, but
half-heartedly lops her head off.
Murdral to get to Perrin.
Right, and we don't know the difference that split second of time might have made, but more importantly is the fact that I think it was a fantastic and it was a great moment written by Jordan to show sometimes that all the ethos and all the things that we talk about in the moment, the person that's across from you becomes greater than what you're saying. And I love that she stood up and tried to save the person over what she thought was important to her.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
I'll give you the last word on this, but I will offer this as a counterbalance. That moment is more sad for me because she's lived her entire life believing one thing, and then right before she dies, she throws it all away. So it's a little bit sad to see somebody who's been so committed to an ideal cast it aside. Granted, under very trying circumstances, but we've witnessed and understood who the Tuatha'an are. And even though I think in this world, and certainly through the eyes of Perrin, their credo doesn't really make a lot of sense, there's still some beauty behind it. And so I was saddened by that moment, especially since what she really doesn't matter. So she needlessly throws that away.
I don't think she throws it away. I think she enhances it. I think she takes what they're
Eric
about.
Is saying is she throws away her entire life at that point.
But see, I think it's a +1. I think it's a level up
from your viewpoint of.
Well, he's seeing it through Perrin's eyes. You're seeing this through Perrin's eyes.
Yeah, and Perrin's the one she was sacrificing for.
She was. I don't see that she actually has all that much of a relationship with him. They have one conversation. and then he, it seems like Perrin really has more of a relationship with her than she does with him, because he has this thing with the Tuatha on.
He was very worried about her.
He was
Very.
and he thrusts himself into her story more than she does with him, and that's
Is that
why
what they're calling it these days.
that's why
Yeah,
and
I
that's
thrust
why
myself
they're
into her
that's
story.
why they're together in that scene. But but that's certainly an interesting way to look at it, and it is definitely an interesting moment here within these first 6 chapters.
I think those are two nice sides of a coin right there that you both presented.
Two sides of a fountain.
I don't know quite how that works. So what shook my willow this week was the fact that Loyal mentions embarrassedly that he is writing a book on all of this. And so I wonder, is that what we're reading? Are we reading Loyal's book?
Yes.
I mean, we
I
got a
don't
lot of
know.
books to go to know that that's the case or not.
Oh, we've
so
we've read 3 books so far. Does this
I will
feel?
say this.
Yeah.
I hope Loyal makes it to the end of all these books. This is an interesting. Yeah, it could be. I'm going to say yes.
I
like
hope
to live
so.
Inside the world that this is Loyal's book.
I mean, but who
does
knows?
it? My first question is, does it feel like Loyal's voice?
Do we know enough about Loyal at this point to say that
We've been hanging out with Loyal
we
for
do.
a while now.
Yes, we do. We know enough that no, it doesn't sound like Loyal's voice, because if it were Loyal's voice, the first book would probably be 4,000 pages long.
Right.
Okay, let's assume Loyal has a good editor. Okay, so Adam.
He's like, come to the studying.
Adam, you don't think it doesn't feel like it's Loyal's book to you.
No.
Okay. I think that we do have to see if he survives this. We don't.
You would have to talk. You would have to talk to so many people about what was taking place. Are you just talking about this book in particular?
No.
From the beginning?
No.
All of it.
All of it.
He would have to talk to everybody about stuff that he wasn't around.
Yeah, you're right. Loyal doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would do that kind of research.
Well, if he did, he does seem like the kind of guy that would.
Hi, facetious. Have we met?
No, the problem would be the other people trying to talk to him about it. They'd be like, nah, I'm not going to talk about this.
I mean, we don't know where this is going.
Who knows? Yeah, maybe.
I think it's something that we need to keep in mind as we move forward, because who is writing this story otherwise? Who does have the wherewithal to gather all of this information and put it together in story form? Loyal seems like the most likely candidate, right?
So far, yeah. Right now, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
He's the only historian that we have.
I think it's written by Balzaman.
So that this would be a very different story if it were written by Balzaman. Yeah.
It's dark prophecy.
So that was my Willow moment for the week, is I think maybe we've stumbled upon the narrator for this story, and I am going to kind of keep my eye on the way that Loyal, sort of talks about things and see if that's the voice that we have.
So please,
Eric, I don't know that I agree that I'm writing all this.
Well, let me tell you.
Wilbur. So that is what shook our willows this episode. Let's
journey on.
Let's sally forth and
don't call me Sally.
discuss the White Cloaks in our Tighty Whities segment.
Yes, let's.
So
interesting group of people, these White Cloaks.
There's something.
Are they all dudes?
I would guess
yes. It seems that way, doesn't it? That's a good question, by the way. We haven't run into any. Perhaps women are too smart to get wrapped up in this nonsense.
or yeah, because they're like, oh wait, you're gonna burn me at the stake.
The fairer and wiser sex, right, has seen far too many.
Girl for me.
Has seen far too many a woman burned at the stake, and therefore said, you know what, we're not hanging with you fools.
That doesn't look fun.
So in the prologue, we get a lot of information about what Pedron Niall's plans were for Jeffrin Bornhold and why he had him there in the first place. We get a lot of information about what Niall thinks of Aes Sedai and the end of the world and all that stuff. So let's just, what did we learn about Niall's thoughts of Aes Sedai?
Well, one thing that I thought
Nothing
was interesting is that he questioned, this is all just throwing this hay out to the wind. It seems to me like
I have bad allergies. Please don't do that.
Achoo.
Who was Achu? Achu is one of the people in the History of the World, right? Mel Brooks' History of the World.
Oh, it seems strange that he would specifically
Pacific
coastedly.
That's where you live, so that's good.
Bring up, are you sure it was Aes Sedai? Because it seems like in his mind that he doesn't think the witches would do that. It just seems like he's a bit suspicious of it.
Well, one of two things is going on here. Either
he's all wrong.
He doubts what Bayar is saying, or he's uber eager to hear that the Aes Sedai were involved, because he does revel in the fact that they finally revealed themselves, those dastardly Aes Sedai.
He's all wrong. He's all wrong. He could be more wrong.
So
I like that take.
So, well, I gave you two. I gave you, he doesn't.
I know, I like both of them.
You
he's on board for it all.
There are two totally.
We don't know enough about it to know which one is right. I just think it's.
What do you think?
Yes, we do.
Which one do you think is right?
We know which one is right.
Well, no, we know. Which one do you think he believes?
Oh, he's a zealot, so he believes they're in full Monty.
So he's questioning him twice just because he wants to nail down the fact that it was the Aes Sedai and confirm his beliefs.
I don't think so.
Okay. My first read was, hey, this guy totally doubts whether or not Aes Sedai were involved, because why would they do this all of a sudden? Why would they reveal themselves and the oaths to be completely a lie, right?
Well, I guess, no, in terms of what he tells him to do next, I suppose it would make sense that he was just like, okay, it is the Aes Sedai, so I am excited that we can move forward with this.
And through conversation, I have slowly, I'm more on the other side of things, where now I do think he was just really eager for confirmation of the belief, because later on in the conversation he does say that they've revealed
he's so
their true
convinced
selves.
that this is the way they are, he will create a reality in his own mind that is what happened.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I was getting too romanticized with it.
Well, I mean, I was
reading him the wrong way.
It's fun. It's fun to read contradictions, but he's no Jeffrey Bornhold.
No.
Yeah, no.
We only wish.
Yeah. He also says he had always known no one could want the power they wielded except to challenge the Creator, and that meant to serve the Dark One, which is the way that he sees the Aes Sedai. Which I think that's the crux of the Children's Creed, is that these women wield far too much power. I also think that there's a masculine thing going on here. I think
they hate women.
They do.
No women are involved.
They seem to hate women the same way the Reds hate men.
Right.
The baseball team?
Yep. That's why they stink.
Hate all their men.
And
they hate all their male pitchers except for one.
And they seem to think that these women have way too much power, in the same way that the Shan-Chan think that these women have way too much power. And so that is that's interesting, and that'll feed into something we're going to talk about here in a second. So the next question I want to ask is Corydon Borse from the prologue of The Great Hunt?
Wait, what?
Is Jaishim Corydon Borse?
Jacob Carradine.
Well, what? Yes. I mean,
I'm sorry, I didn't know who you were talking about.
Borse?
Yeah.
Borse. I'm going to go with yes.
A man named Borse?
What do you think, Adam?
Seems like it.
Yeah, at the end of the prologue from the Great Hunt,
he's the only white cloak that's been
that we've gotten proven that is actually
a dark friend. And we know that Borse is a questioner. So
good point. Yeah.
So it seems fairly conclusive that this is the guy.
Is in there, yeah.
This is the guy from the prologue of the second book.
Sucks to be him.
Does it?
Yeah, it does when you get visited by a Murdral, and now you're torn between two
Why
totally
does it suck
different
to be
directives.
him? He's bad. Screw that guy.
It's still.
I mean, I have no compassion for that guy. Whatever. Why does it suck to be him?
If somebody
Screw that guy.
took you and transported you into his shoes, you would be like, "This sucks."
You've committed to evil. I have no sympathy for you. You can get stuck in the eye with a pitchfork. Goodbye.
Well, when he committed to evil, he did not see this coming.
Do you?
Yeah, sure. No,
that whole thing is funny to me. That whole statement.
Dave, I agree with you. The guy made some real bad decisions.
Your life choices blow. I mean, I'm sorry.
I mean, so have mine at points in my life, but this guy just got into a very sticky situation that there is 0% chance that he's getting out of him.
So he gets visited by the Murdral, and the Murdral is like, "Hey, dude, you completely blew your entire mission from the last book. Congrats. Now you're going to have to make it up. Otherwise, every time, several months from now, you haven't achieved this goal."
Murdral I've ever heard.
I'm going to.
Who is this? This is the Keanu Reeves Murdral.
Whoa.
Hey, bro.
No, none of it's Keanu Reeves and John Wick.
I am going to kill off people in your family 1 month at a time until I finally have eliminated everybody and get down to you, and then I'm going to drag you to Thakon Dar, where you're going to die slowly over a year.
That's pretty horrible.
Yeah,
so
it's such a good description.
So
it's
he
that,
has,
or he's going to get hunted down by the White Cloaks.
Well, right. So that's the corner that he squeezed into at the end of that.
One to keep him alive,
at the end of that segment.
One to have him be dead. There's no winning this.
Well, so he says, "Oh crap! I've got to send off 2 messages here, and I don't know which one I should send first. So which one do we think he sends first? Does he send off a message? Does he send off his duties to the White Cloaks, or does he perform his duties as a Dark Friend? If it were you, which one would you do?"
First of all, I wouldn't be committed to the shadow, so I wouldn't be in this situation.
Too bad. That's not the scenario I presented you.
No. It seems like it would be because there were 3 mysterious youths that died. Youths. 3 mysterious youths that died that looked apparently a lot like Rand. I think that would have been done under his order, right?
I think he's committed to saving himself.
Of course he's committed to saving himself.
Because he's evil. That's how he does that.
No, what?
Yes, we know he's evil.
That's not an answer.
It is an answer.
How does he do it?
How physically?
Yes, how?
He writes the order.
Which one?
The order to go ahead with the message of the dark.
Okay, so he goes with Team Balsamon.
Right.
Okay. Not Team Pedron Niall.
No, because Team Pedron Niall.
Doesn't he do both of them?
He's going to try to balance both of them, but one of them he has to have as a priority.
Yeah.
So you're Team Balsamon.
Well, for him, yeah.
Or is he just randomly killing people that may look like this character?
Well, I don't think he's killing anybody.
No, I know he's not. But
we think it's the soulless.
Maybe a little of the peril.
Right. Maybe I'm killing them a little bit. I agree with you guys. I think if I was in that situation, I'd be following the supernatural being versus the human being. Right.
You can kill the human being. You
try.
Can't kill Balsamon or whoever this person is.
Unless you're Rand, and even then you can only
sort of kill him. You sort of kill him when he comes back.
A little bit more. He's just
like
killing
the
him
bubonic
softly.
Plague. He keeps coming back around. Yeah.
Rubbing my pain.
What is
on my fingers?
Right.
Yeah.
I was completely making up lyrics to that song.
It turns out that the head of the White Cloaks is also a Dark Friend.
Is he
the head of the White Cloaks?
I don't know that I subscribe to.
Well, okay, so that takes us to my other question: is Ordythe Podden Fane?
Ordythe, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going with yes.
Yes.
So we were wondering after the last book, where did he disappear to?
He disappeared to White Cloaks.
He shuffled off to Terrebonne.
Of course he does. He goes to another power source because that's what Ordythe does.
Exactly.
Wormtongue.
What's his name of this?
That's Wormwood. Wormwood.
Yeah.
It's an old ancient word for wormwood, which is very much like Grima Wormtongue.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they're both scumbags, so you know.
So
he gets shot with an arrow too.
During that conversation, we get a really, really interesting idea of what Niall's vision of Tarmon Gaiden is, right? So he talks about Tarmangaiden, and instead of it being a supernatural battle between good and evil, he sees it as being a battle between himself and these dark friends. So he puts himself up as this pseudo dragon reborn who is going to save the world in a Tarmangaiden that actually isn't between Satan and some supernatural savior. It's him just battling a bunch of Trollocs.
Talk about delusions of grandeur. My gosh, make yourself more important, could you?
Right.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but it seems to be doing him well.
No, I don't know that I agree with that.
He has to believe in this because he can't believe that the seals of Shaitan's prison are weakening, because if he believes that, then all of a sudden the dragon reborn, a supernatural man who can channel, is necessary.
But he's thrown all of prophecy to the wayside.
Well, he's twisted it to work into his own religious credo.
I don't even know it's religious. It is just egotism. He is so convinced that he's like the most important thing that he's throwing everything else, every prophecy, every reality. Frickin' Rand appears in the sky and is fighting the Dark One or whoever he is. No, that's not important. What's really important is the White Cloak's credo. That's ridiculous. That's the epitome of insane.
He's a true believer, though.
He's nuts. I mean, he is full on A1 nutbag.
What is he, a nutcase?
He's like gone to the dark side, or whatever you want to call it, of like, he's believed his own stuff so much he's created his own reality.
I am your father.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Like, there's so much evidence. He's got the drawings in front of him, and he's like, no, that's not really the way the last battle is going to go down. What's really going to actually happen is this. I'm going to fight this war. The White Cloaks are going to win, and everyone's going to be happy. And this is so diluted. I mean,
let's rewind, flip it, and reverse it for a second. We learn what
rub it down. Yeah.
We learn what his original plans were for the Great Hunt and what Jeffrey Bornhold was doing there, right? So his original plan was to be able to take over Almouth Plain, because we know the Terabonners and the
Domani.
Yeah,
the Domani.
Aradomon and Terabon are to the north and the south of Almouth Plain. So his plan is to go in and take over Almouth Plain for the White Cloaks and create a secondary nation for them, because they're basically in control of Terabon.
Yeah, and he lays it out that it could have happened. It didn't. Like, this is what you should have done.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't happen. So now his adjusted plan is we're gonna release the Dragon Reborn on these people,
this
create chaos
2.0,
and then we're gonna come in and be the saviors of the chaos, and everybody's gonna love us and give us this nation, and then we'll just get rid of this Dragon Reborn guy.
This measly person.
Just So that's what his plans are now. And the reason he's cool with getting rid of the Dragon Reborn is because he's not even necessary, because the Dark One is sealed up in his prison. The Aes Sedai have done their good. We don't need them for the rest of the age and ages to come. They've done their job. They've sealed away Shaitan, and that's it. We're just going to eliminate them off the face of the earth now and just be comfy and hunky-dory.
I don't think that works out so well.
It's a great plan.
What an idiot.
Right.
Yeah, because it seems like they don't want any women. So they're gonna live for 30 more years and then all die and have
We're gonna live forever.
I don't know what that was, but that was fantastic.
Yeah, so good luck, Pedron
I know
Niall.
what that was, and it was fantastic.
Oh, I did know what that was, yeah.
Maybe.
It was an Oasis moment.
Yeah, and Pedron Niall is on an oasis. And an oasis.
He's in his own oasis of madness.
Yeah, he is.
An oasis of madness.
Good
I
luck,
like that. I'm
Booby.
calling that, stamping it, and trademarking
Stamping it?
He really has things figured out.
He's got it all figured out.
Direction.
Not so much.
One person who's trying to figure it out is Perrin. So let's get into a little wolf and man.
Yes. Cheap sheriff.
That made me feel tingly. Shit. Dave.
So
back to the meaning.
Yeah, back to the meaning. So up to this point,
keeps going on.
Right? Most of these books we've seen through Rand's eyes for the most part, right? And this book, these first 6 chapters, we're seeing through Perrin's eyes. This seems to be Perrin's book so far.
Yeah, I mean, so far.
far.
That. I was wondering. It seemed. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. It starts off with him. Is this gonna be about him entirely?
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah, it seems like that's the way things are kind of setting up.
As long as Perrin gets up exciting, I'm fine with that. If he goes back to dull Perrin mode, I'm gonna shoot myself. Like, this will be too much.
We need to keep our eyes out for dull Perrin mode.
The fact that he, after talking to Moraine, and Moraine says you got to be a little wary of some dreams, and he thinks to himself, it's not the shadow that I'm concerned about in dreams, it's the wolves. Yeah, it's my friends that help me kill people.
And he's mentioned,
I'm concerned about them.
I'm really, it's really strange because he's mentioned having wardings on his dreams before, which we've assumed have been the wolves, and yet he seems to not want the wolves in his dreams. Right? So what's he been using to ward his dreams? No one else is confused by this. Either that or you're completely confused and flummoxed by this, as am I.
Moraine offered the fact that she could have warded them.
Right, but Perrin says remember in the Great Hunt, Perrin mentions that he's found a way to be secure in his dreams.
Yeah, I thought that was the wolves.
I thought so too, but he doesn't want the wolves in this dream.
In this one, but the other ones, they were doing a job.
I don't know.
Well, I think that I mean, that's the in dream section, so I don't want to go into that too much.
Correct.
So never mind. I don't think anything.
Well, that's not surprising. Perrin is gaining strength, confidence in himself. He is gaining the ability to confront Moiraine. He is getting stronger. He's getting more screen time. And we learn a couple of interesting things from him. Unlike Rand is finally accepting the fact that he's the Dragon Reborn, and he's embracing who he is, and he's trying to figure out how to be able to use Saidin. Perrin is still in full denial mode. He keeps trying to shut this out. Right. He
costs everyone. He costs the entire village to save a people, if you will. He costs them all by his stubbornness.
Oddly enough,
I'm not going to accept who I am.
Both Rand and Perrin cost warning the camp.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So he's struggling still against his own identity, and then Perrin's struggling with several different things when it comes to Rand. One of them is he's trying to figure out whether or not they're still friends.
Oh, right. Which is weird. I mean, Rand talks to him. Rand,
he is.
That whole interaction. Rand is still talking with him. Rand is doing whatever.
He's battling with the fact that, they have all this history, and so he still has a kinship with Rand, but at the same time, they seem to be moving away from each other, even though while at the same time, he still has a sense of being tied to him.
I think it's called a kilnship for him.
They're potters?
Well, he works with the fire.
He does?
Who got the fire?
Yes, he does.
Perrin
he does. Yes, but he's not. Yeah, he's not
fine.
Harry Potter. He's
thank goodness for that.
No,
he's not a Potter. Not a Potter.
Wow. that was almost as bad as my joke. Those were 2 terrible jokes in a row.
So Perrin wonders whether or not they are still friends, but at the same time, he still feels he communicates to Moiraine that he still knows that he's tied to him. He still feels like he's tied to him. And then we have this whole idea from the dream of this triumvirate of these 3 boys. And if you eliminate one of them, you cut down this structure that they form.
Of course, that's coming
like
from
a pyramid.
Like the evil people. So who knows what that
Well,
means?
but it's important to these evil people. The evil people honestly believe it. The Dark Friends believe that if they can eliminate one of them, that they've succeeded in toppling the overall structure that they are. So that's something else that's interesting. So, and then
2 people talk about it.
And then we learn a little bit about Perrin too. He's fighting against his wolf self, but at the same time, that's where he feels most comfortable because they are completely accepting of him, which is really funny because he's a completely different species than they are. But they are way more accepting of him than he feels like in human company. He talks about the fact that he feels awkward amongst humans. Obviously, he looks different. He's much bigger. He has these weird eyes. He has all these weird abilities, and he's really uncomfortable amongst people also.
Yeah, how much of it is Perrin versus how much of the people
That's a very good
perceive
description
that?
of Perrin.
I mean, Perrin. I think so much of Perrin is all Perrin's head.
Yes, Perrin. Yes, I totally agree. Perrin's really in
He's his own
head.
worst enemy.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, it seems like all of these boys are.
Not Matt. Well, Matt's
we don't have
Matt's problems aren't his thoughts; they're his actions.
No. Well, yeah.
Matt could afford to think a little bit more.
We don't. All we know is Matt has been infected with
Matt
greed.
may and or may not be possessed by the devil. So there's that.
Yeah, well, I think he's on his way to hopefully get cured of that.
One can only hope.
And then there's one other thing that we learn here. We learn something that Perrin experienced in his portal stone travel.
Oh, yeah.
So Perrin admits to himself that since the journey by portal stone, he had convinced himself that his life was bound to Rand's. So he saw something in those 1,000 lives, probably repeatedly, that he is tied to Rand and that he is necessary to Rand in some way that he hasn't revealed to us.
Yep.
So that is of Wolf and Man.
My body's chained, my body's friend.
Let's dig a little bit farther into Perrin's dream.
Back to the meaning of don't Perrin.
In dreams.
Kill it.
I just want to hear that
with fire.
right there a million times.
That was all fire.
That was all fantastic.
Rich
and compelling.
Everybody take a drink.
It.
There was Adam.
Everyone take a drink. I'm taking a drink. Dave said rich and compelling.
I sure did.
So Perrin has
Delicioso.
A dream. Balsamon is back.
Oh my gosh. It's like
the old balls.
Man, he just keeps coming back.
He is like a canker sore.
Who is this guy? Like, honestly.
He's annoying.
What is he?
Yeah.
He is. Wow.
I mean, is he a projection of Shayatan?
It seems like he's a projection of himself. If you can do that.
Yeah, but at the end of the last book, he's afraid to be cut by Rand's sword. So so there's some physical being there that's worried, that has some sort of mortal sense.
Rand's sword can cut me all over.
Did you say Mortal Instruments? That's a whole nother book series entirely.
Yes. Yeah.
My daughter would be proud of me.
Doctorial instruments.
I liked it.
Yeah. He is ridiculous. I don't get. I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused as to what's going on here. But he's a problem, and he's back.
He is a problem.
Yeah.
He's a problem. Yeah.
So what do you guys think is the significance of Perrin's axe? Because Balsamon is really trying to convince Perrin to doff the axe. Right. Exactly.
I think it's doing that.
It's a juxtaposition between a blacksmith and a murderer or warrior. I think that's totally what it is. Perrin has grown up being a blacksmith, and he's been thrust into the role of being a warrior, but that's not who Perrin is at heart.
But
do you think
that's the argument of this Balsamon character?
Yeah, but Balsamon's not Perrin. Perrin's good. Balsamon's evil.
Well, no, but Balsamon is trying to get Perrin to get rid of the axe.
Right, because he wants to go back to being a blacksmith.
Right.
But
why?
It seems like he's scared of him actually wielding that axe.
Right. Well, but the axe is not. I don't think it's at. Just because you're a blacksmith doesn't mean you're not ferocious. I mean, you can create things as being a blacksmith, which can be wonderful magical things or wonderful creative things, but you don't have to destroy. You can create as opposed to being destroying.
But they're never as good as the pottery from the Tuatha one.
Okay, Terran Wanderer.
Well,
but besides that point,
just like Moiraine says, what the Dark One wants, I want to prevent him from getting. What the Dark One wants to get, I want to hold on to. So I want Perrin to hold on to this axe if these two people in his dreams are trying to convince him to put it away. Or at least one of them.
Is just is representative of what is happening with him in these first chapters that we've met in him. Like I said before, talking actually up to Moiraine, and then he gets high praise from Lan in the fight when the Trollocs are there. So he is
right with
He's
the
taking
axe.
care of business.
So that is the axe that this.
But Perrin hates the axe.
Perrin hates the axe, but I feel like we need him to hang on to it.
For now.
He should hang on to it because it seems like this guy who is, scared of blades is scared of this.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like another one of the Forsaken who is trying to get him to get rid of his axe.
But I feel like if Perrin hangs onto that axe too long, it's gonna compromise who he is.
Well,
yeah, sure. It probably needs to.
I mean,
does it need to? Do we want to lose who Perrin is?
Yes, I do.
I just want Perrin to hang on to the axe. I'm worried about these.
I'm worried about if he
try
does
to
hang
get
on
him.
to the axe.
Some wolves.
So
I don't think you need the axe to be with the wolves. I think they're two very different things.
Those seem
hold on.
separate.
Did we get into the fact? We did talk a little bit about Perrin being a little bit like Rand, but what is very fascinating to me is that Perrin is scared of giving himself over to the wolves, like Rand is scared of giving himself over to the One Power.
We did talk about that.
He is,
but we didn't actually get into the fact that it was the One Power.
But I think Perrin has
Does that come into this dream?
Inside of this dream?
Yeah. Does it have to do with this dream?
Well, the dream at the end of it, the wolf is there.
Okay.
And he's really creeped out by it.
Right.
He doesn't want to be communicating with it. So, yeah, it does seem like the same. Whatever. It's the same thing.
It's 6 one way, half a dozen the other.
He's fighting the wolf the entire dream, and even before that, there's this thing that's itching in the back of his mind, which
AKA
we've known,
the wolves saying,
right.
Look out! Trollocs are attacking you.
Well, even before that, it might have been other things. They were just trying to communicate with him, and maybe all the time they were trying to communicate the approach of the Trollocs. And
I'm going to shut you out.
He's been avoiding
everybody.
them.
People are going to die because I'm dumb.
He's a good Two Rivers lad.
This also is the first time in a dream, by the way, that Perrin is treated as a separate Ta'veren from Rand. All of the other dreams up to this point, they've been Balsamon searching for, at this point, what we know as the Dragon Reborn. This is the first time where Perrin is identified as a separate danger. And once again,
we don't have that with Matt before this, right?
We have not had that with Matt yet.
Well,
and this feeds into this whole tripod theory that that gets mentioned a couple of times here.
The Ta'veren tripod.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Most dreams up to this point were Balsamon just seeking the dragon.
This just seems like more and more evidence that this is probably what this book is going to be mostly about, is him.
And then Lanfear shows up.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's who that is.
Yeah, and then Min is like,
right.
We knew who that was before.
Right. Lanfear, the woman that Min several paragraphs later tells Perrin to desperately flee from.
Let's push a big
if you recall nothing else.
I want to stick a thumbtack in this and push pause.
Well, we're gonna talk about all the prophecies. We're gonna talk
it
about
isn't even a prophecy. This is a moment of Perrin, Min, and Moiraine are all in a little teepee, and they're all talking, and Min at no point mentions to Moiraine, "Oh, by the way, I might have met Lanfear. She might be after Rand. There might be this thing there. Don't mind that." No, she doesn't say a word about it. She just mentions to Perrin, if you see the most beautiful woman in the world you've ever met, run.
We don't know that she hasn't said that to Moiraine either.
I think we pretty much do know she hasn't said that, because otherwise Moiraine would be like, there's more Forsaken out there.
Well, she had.
She hasn't mentioned this at all.
That is strange, and Moiraine does mention.
She doesn't trust the Aes Sedai.
Moiraine does list off some of the Forsaken, and there doesn't seem to be, and she mentions Lanfear amongst them, and there doesn't seem to be any acknowledgement that she's aware that Lanfear is out.
To be like, hey, speaking of the daughter,
or if she'd already mentioned it, but at the same time, if she had that conversation with Moiraine, would Moiraine broadcast it to anyone else? Would she? Because remember this
to who?
Anyone other than Lan.
We know Moiraine is not the person to share stuff with everybody in the world.
Exactly.
But that would be the point for Min to be like, There's someone else
No, I
out
could
there.
see.
Maybe
I
she
could
did
see what
already, and
Eric-
maybe
yeah, I
Moiraine
could see what Eric
isn't
is saying.
gonna. We're not gonna.
I don't
see
know
any
that I go.
instance
I
of
don't
it.
know that I go that route. I think she didn't say anything because, for one reason or another, she just doesn't say anything.
I think she says things though. From what we
Yeah.
know about her, she does say things. So I would see Eric's side of that. That she very well could have talked to Moiraine.
We'll have to
don't
keep our
buy it.
eye out
We'll
because
see.
if
Who
she
knows?
didn't say
Yeah.
anything, that's really dumb.
Yeah, it's,
Well,
really
it's either
stupid.
dumb or
But
fearful.
people have done many stupid things.
When
by
you're
not talking to
when you're
each other
scared,
about
you
it.
don't do many
So
things.
so Lanfear appears again with another goblet of wine that she's trying to get Perrin to drink. What is in this wine?
People are trying to. They're always trying to get them to drink wine.
What are they doing? What's going on?
I think that wine is like
Poisoning them?
something that's going to compel you to do something. You know,
Okay.
it's like ambrosia or something.
a
that's
dream.
like,
Roofing.
in
Yeah,
dreams.
in a dream.
Yeah, you're roofing you in dreams. Yes,
That's
for sure.
weird.
It's-
But
well,
there's
I mean,
power
like
in
another-
dreams. We've heard
Yeah.
that. There's power in dreams.
These dreams honestly seem on the plane of what we were talking about before and just other worlds. I think maybe because they're Taviran that they're entering into these in a different way that other people would be.
Yeah, they
So
are.
it's
But you
not
would think
a-
then
it's
because
not a
they're
dream, it seems like an entirely different plane of existence.
you would think that because they're doing that they could compel using the power rather than having to use a goblet with some weird poison
Well-
that's only an idea.
So we know that Perrin
It's
is
like
What the
Inception.
laws are.
But
Who knows what the
Perrin is
laws are?
somehow
Yeah.
protected in these
Right.
dreams somehow. Perrin has got some level of awareness / protection, whether it's the wolves or whether he's got something going on. Rand apparently has some sort of dream control. He's
Yeah.
got something
Well, they
going
all-
on. I feel
all
like
these
this is a
Ta'veren
Queenstrike
do.
moment with dream control.
Well,
Um,
Egwene does as well.
Right, they're all
Remember-
well,
cognizant
those
in the
three,
dreams.
those three do.
Well, no, Matt has been cognizant in his dreams as
I
well.
don't
and
buy
been
that
able
Matt
to
has any
describe-
control in his dreams, like Perrin, Rand, and Egwene do.
I don't-
Those
Up to
three have
this
got
point,
something
no,
going
He
on.
doesn't have control like they do, but he's also just been.
He's aware, but he doesn't have
Drugged out
control.
of his
Those
mind.
three, so they got to find some other manipulative way to get to those three or that one in the dream sense. So they're choosing a different path. It doesn't work.
So how does this wine work in a dream?
I don't know. Maybe
we don't know yet.
Maybe who knows?
Is that
Makes
like
you
signing
like tipsy and you're
yourself?
like,
Is that like
hey,
signing yourself
I'm
to
gonna
the
do what you
devil?
say I'm gonna do. Hello. I don't know what it is, but some.
But is that like pricking your finger and putting your blood on a
No, I don't know.
agreement
I
for
want to hear the rest of
eternity?
what you're saying.
selling your soul? Is that selling your soul if you actually drink that?
But that's
Probably.
giving of your own blood. They're trying to get him to imbibe.
I think it's
something.
like a roofie.
Right.
I think it's like a you sip that and holy catnip, you're
Yeah.
down the primrose path to goofiness. So
Either that or it might be like Adam and Eve and the apple, and they're trying to poison him that way because
Yeah.
the initial character does say you will see things more clearly after you consume this. So
yeah, that is
so-
an Adam and Eve moment. So yeah,
so
Yeah, it's just
but it doesn't.
evil.
It ultimately doesn't end up mattering.
so then he leaves Balsamon and
Perrin.
yes,
Yeah.
in the dream, and then he goes and then there's this shift in the world, and there's Lanfear, and he's looking at himself with a lion's head helm and a golden breastplate, which seems to be the idea of glory that she's sort of casting on him.
But Perrin, think of the
loves
glory.
Right, she's back with that mantra. Yeah,
Right, it's Rand, but in reverse.
but she does she makes mention to Perrin. Here's to years past and years to come. Is she suggesting there that he's one of these heroes of the horn that the
Ooh.
wheel is constantly going to keep spitting out now moving forward? Because remember, they
Wow.
suggest that new heroes can be created.
That's
So-
a lot.
So is he somebody who is he like Guidal Kane who is unaware of who he is yet, or is he like a new hero? What does she mean by that?
I don't know. That's wow. I've never thought about that.
It could be.
Because at first I thought that he was looking at himself and seeing his true heroic form in that glass, but then it became obvious that all Lanfear was trying to do was manipulate him through this idea of future glory
I
so that
think
she
that's-
could.
That's because that's what we know about her.
That's
Right.
probably more what it is. I
Right.
think because that's her motif.
Right.
She is.
I mean,
she's all
but
about.
why is
But
she?
think of the glory.
She probably is just coming after him to get to Rand, but maybe not. Maybe he is.
No, I think she's going for whoever she thinks she can do to be a power monger, because that's what she is. She's all about the power, and she wants someone. Rand doesn't give a two figs about the power, and Perrin.
Yeah, but Rand is who she thinks that her ultimate lover was.
Well,
So
because she was in love with Theron. Yeah, and
Yeah,
Theron
she's
and her were an
gunning
item
for
back
him.
in the day.
So
I
then,
would assume she's still gunning for him. Maybe I'm wrong.
then we
She
get
She's all
might be,
about
but
the
she might
blacksmith.
also be if she accepts that this version of Theron 2.0 isn't going to be who she wants. She's going to go for somebody else who's power hungry, but she doesn't get it. Like, she doesn't get that these Two Rivers people don't give two shakes of a lamb's feather about
tail. Lambs
tail
don't have
and
feathers.
then fur, whatever.
Oh,
About,
you haven't seen the lambs around these parts.
well, there you go. They don't care about power. They
Right.
care about their relationships. And she doesn't get
Well,
that
I
because
mean-
she's not a relationship person. She's a power person.
she didn't figure that out in the last book.
Yeah.
But
She's
apparently
just
she
doing the
never
same
will.
shit.
She's a one-trick pony.
Yeah, she's just doing the same stuff.
She's not a lamb. She's a pony.
She's
a show pony.
She's a pony
But
that doesn't get
she's
it.
a pony of a different feather.
Right. Okay, Dr. Doolittle.
Then
Yeah.
we get this quotation: three threads woven together share one another's doom. When
Three
one is
threads
cut, all
woven
are. Fate can
together.
kill you if it does not do worse. So that is this tripod theory that the Dark Friends seem to be operating under now, that they just need to cut out either Matt, Rand, or Perrin in order for the overall structure of Rand being the Dragon Reborn and
No one's
sort of
mentioned
saving
Matt
humanity.
yet, though. It
What's
seems
that?
like Matt would be the easy one to go for.
Well, Matt's not
Right,
in these,
yes,
in
it
these at
does.
this time.
So it seems that if one of the three Ta'veren fail, all will fail. Why is Lanfear appearing to Perrin?
Right. I thought
Well,
that's what we were talking
so
I guess-
he's,
I mean,
he's not
I
going to
guess
appear
it's just
to
this.
Matt.
It just
Matt is corrupted at this point.
right.
So, I mean, next man up. Next man up is Perrin.
It's right. She's just
Well, I honestly, my opinion is maybe she'll be appearing to Matt in the next book. Who knows? I have no idea.
right. She's just going through
She's going
her
through
courses.
the Ta'veren. I think that in my opinion, I think that there is no reason in my mind that she would not be still gunning for Rand, and that she realizes he's really close to Rand, so maybe she can get to him through him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a good theory.
I don't know if she wants to get through Rand through Matt so much, or excuse me, Perrin so much as it's that she wants someone who is going to take control. And Perrin, as we've seen, is starting. First of all, first thing we know about Lanfear, aka Selene, is she is everywhere. She is somehow. It's like she's omnipresent. She's like aware of everything that's going on. She's somehow somewhere everywhere. And so she knows about all this weird stuff going on. So Rand's not going to do it for her. Rand apparently has scorned her. So the next person is the next major Ta'veren is
I don't believe that she's given up on him.
I'm not saying she has. I'm saying she's refocusing her attention.
Sure.
And she's refocusing her attention on the next major Ta'veren, who at this point that we know of, there's three, but the one that's most exhibited the most next leadership next to Rand is definitely Perrin.
Yeah.
So
that could be
okay,
a
Rand's not going to do it for
possibility.
her now. Let's go to Perrin. But she just doesn't get it. She doesn't understand and get that these two river folk are not about what she's about, but that does not stop her from trying, and man, does she try.
So he leaves her.
I don't necessarily believe that she's not going to be successful.
Well, Perrin shuts her down.
So far.
From what we know about Perrin, do you think that would stop?
I don't know. No, I don't.
Perrin is singularly minded. I think once Perrin makes a decision, he makes a decision.
So Perrin makes the decision to leave her, or the dream does it for him, and then he is back to that weird world that Rand was in, with all of the bridges crossing each other and all of the different tiers and the towers and the turrets.
Goofy.
And he sees Lanfear disappear in one corner, and then
a woman in white. Yeah,
that's.
A lady
I mean, it's going to be
in
Lanfear.
white.
Right.
What if it's just
He doesn't describe her as Lanfear. I'm
some
concluding.
other lady late for a dinner.
Right. I'm concluding that a woman in white wandering around in the dream realm is probably Lanfear. And then he sees 3
coins in a fountain.
What we're going to conclude are Forsaken men converge and meet.
He sees more than the men, though. He sees her too.
I said that. I started that off with that. Okay. She heads off and disappears, and she's being chased by one of these men, and then he is joined by 2 others. So now
they're all scared of one individual that comes in later.
So the two men are scared by the third man who arrives, who seems to be the most powerful out of all of them.
He's like walking in like
just like that. Yes.
So this is
but
more.
I want that
this
noise
is,
when he does it.
This is more Forsaken around than we've really been aware of up to this point. Up to this point, we've got Balsamon, who knows what the heck he is. We have Lanfear.
Yep.
And that's pretty much been it. And now we've got...
No. We had...
Oh, well, 2 of them got killed, Adam.
Yeah,
okay, I thought you were just, like, presenting
right.
Forsaken that we've been presented with.
No, I'm talking about active Forsaken. The active cells of Forsaken.
Well, I mean, Balsamon keeps coming back. Who knows who else is coming back?
Right. So we've got 2 more Forsaken roving this land than we have been aware of to this point.
It's a lot to keep track of.
So that's scary, for one. The guys get into an argument, and then one of them just creates a giant ball of fire and immolates the
vortex.
Stone. And they all disappear.
What happens to those people?
Who knows?
I don't know. It's in a different weird world.
So
in a different world from where you come from.
So look out, world. There's more Forsaken on the loose.
Here.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's weird.
That's great.
There's a lot going. It's rich and compelling.
So there are a bunch of Forsaken, and so they were closer to.
And who are these Forsaken?
I don't know. It's 4 out of 13.
I don't know. You got names?
And we finally got 13. We finally know the 13.
Right.
Because was
13.
that last podcast we talked about that?
It was
we
2
were wondering
podcasts
how many
ago.
there were?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. It's 13.
Lucky 13. Yeah.
So and that brings
3 shall be the number.
That brings Perrin's dream to an end.
That was an intense dream.
While we're on,
actually, it's the wolf that brings Perrin's dream to an end to alert him to the fact that the camp is being attacked. Man, the beginning of these stories just always begin with a Trolloc attack.
How annoying is that?
Seems like it.
Gosh,
doesn't seem like it. That's exactly what happened.
Perrin, do you think these wolves are trying to
something
speak
to say
to you
about
for a
the
reason?
Forsaken? Trying to tie it into something that Moraine says off like flippantly about Rand leaving.
Let's talk about Moraine.
Well, no, we're going to talk about Rand.
I'm trying to
tie
this in. So the Forsaken are really, really old, and they seem like they have old magic. Obviously, we have one experience with.
They've been getting collagen injections, Adam. They don't look as old as you think they are.
Older magic.
You know, they're definitely young-looking old people. Yes, sure. Anyhow, Moraine at one point was like, I don't know where Rand went. Maybe he learned how to turn invisible or fly in the air, like
to travel.
The Age of Legends.
Right.
Are these people? First of all, I hope that's something that can happen with him eventually. That'll be fantastic. But are these old Forsaken able to do that themselves?
I mean,
I don't know.
It seems to be what she's suggesting there.
She's wondering if they do.
Those are powers that Rand has not yet acquired. So let's.
Seems like those are usually powers that are negative things.
Let's
negative for the world anyhow.
Let's talk about Rand. It's time to get Randy.
Ew.
Oh, I already am.
So we're 2 books in now, and is Rand going mad? He's chuckling to himself. He's creating earthquakes. What was that,
Little
Adam?
Earthquakes.
That was
Little
annoying.
earthquakes.
I feel like
Sorry, I didn't mean to be annoying. I was whistling.
Oh, you're
I feel like
don't
Rand
whistle
doing
into your
that.
microphone.
I don't know that Rand
Don't
is, but
whistle
I
in
feel
the
like
elevator.
I feel like Rand is. I don't think he is, but I feel like he's not doing himself any favors, but by making everybody else seem to think that he is. Like I don't necessarily.
He's pulling
like,
a Hamlet. Is that what you're saying?
Kind of. Like I don't feel like he's that touched out of reality. He's struggling. And
I'm going to put on the act of being mad.
I don't even think it's an act. He's fighting against whatever it is, but the way he's doing it and the moron that he's being, I think he's gone off the deep end in terms.
He's gone off something,
and that's going to
Quaaludes,
offend
maybe.
somebody. Yeah, he doesn't know what he's dealing with. He has no one to train him. He doesn't know how to handle the
for him
power.
last week.
No one can help him handle the power. There's no male Aes Sedai. There's no one who knows how to handle what he's dealing with.
Yes,
it's
he is having a Dr. Manhattan experience.
Right. So I wonder, here's my funny thoughts to this is, so we've got Logain that's been captured. We've got the other false dragon that's been captured, whoever that was up in Saldaea. I wish those people could help Rand because they've obviously been dealing with it, but Rand's all alone. He's dealing with the power. He's dealing with whatever this is he's got by himself. He's apparently doing the best job he can, which is not good. He's not doing well with it. And everybody else is reacting to that. Well, dude, stick yourself in Rand's feet. He's got this thrust upon himself. How the heck do you think he's going to do with it?
So just to kind of summarize what all is going on around him, because we learned from Leia what's happening outside. So you have the on Almouth Plain, the Terabonners and the Domani and these followers of the dragon are all in different battles and skirmishes with each other. So he has this group of people that are out there claiming to be in his name that are fighting for him. He has these Shinarans that have pledged allegiance to him, which is really weird.
I love everyone's reaction.
Massima, who is becoming some sort of nut job prophet. He's got all of these people that are trying, that are claiming to follow him, which is leading to a sense of isolation. He is becoming really, really lonely. He has friends like Perrin who are questioning whether or not they're friends anymore.
Imagine if Matt was there.
And then
Matt would be like, "Is Rand crazy? He's going crazy already."
And then he's got this whole sense of duty, which now that he's accepted the fact that he's the Dragon Reborn, he knows that his entire life is leading toward him being, fighting Baalzamon at the end. So he's got a lot on his plate, and he's treating it as if it's all lemons and just having a sourpuss face and complaining.
At least it doesn't
to
treat
himself,
it like it's roses.
It's interesting because this all sort of boils up toward the end of before he leaves, when Moiraine is healing people. And there's the suggestion that nobody is there to heal Moiraine, except Rand.
Right.
But he can't do that.
But Lan is like, there's no way I'm letting you near her. And Rand takes it personally.
Well, but it's kind of, but imagine that. Imagine the person you're relying on being Moiraine, even though he fights with her. She's given 2 books, all these months, she's given him all this advice. He can't do jack squat to help her. How would that make you feel? You're this almighty powerful being that's going to save the world, but you can't help the one person who's helped you how many times?
I don't think that's even on his mind.
No, that's not on his mind.
Wait, let's stop that for a second. Rand is super conscientious. Rand is always caring about other people. Do you think that's not on Rand's mind?
No, I don't think that's on.
I do.
Time.
Yeah. It's got more to do with the fact that he's being treated like this live dangerous wire again, that he's sick and tired of being treated of, and that people don't trust him.
He is.
Well, right, and that's
Sure.
the frustrating thing for me as a reader is, look, man, you just struggled to contain the one power and created an earthquake. Then you got into a battle and couldn't contain the one power and set the entire forest ablaze. You can't control the one power, man. So of course people aren't going to let you near someone.
I can't go against everything that Rand has been up to this point, and everything that Rand has been up to this point is about everybody else.
Well, everything Rand has been up to this point in this book is sulky.
Yeah, so he's he's moody, he's tempestuous, sure. But
everything Rand has been up to this point has been Rand being lower power levels, and it just keeps going up and up and up, and he cannot control it at this point.
Yes, but every time he's gone up and up, and it's never stopped him. Never stopped him for looking out for it. Even when they were in Falma, he's finding out who he is. He's fighting against all this who he is. Who does he look for? He looks for Egwene. He tries to figure out a way to save Egwene.
Not Moiraine.
Every time Egwene. It doesn't matter who it is.
I think
matters.
It does.
I don't think it does. I think it matters that that's Rand's character. Rand he takes upon everybody else onto himself.
Yeah,
that is who Rand is.
Dave, I completely agree with that. But what he is facing now is the fact that he is trying to help people and not able to access the power like he should be able.
Right,
to
but that doesn't make the guilt go away.
Guilt of what?
The
guilt of not being able to do that.
Well, you're just saying the same thing as Adam.
What I'm saying is he can't help Moiraine, and I think he's thinking about that.
I
guess we'll have to wait and see.
So Rand is gone. Interestingly enough, he took a flute with him, so he has that.
Tom's
he can perform. Well, it's his flute now. Tom gave it to him.
Right, yeah.
And
I'm gonna always think
Adam,
of it as Tom's flute.
He's going to use that. He also did not take his fancy clothes.
He's going to play 7 ducks for a farthing.
Can you spare a shilling on a winter's day?
He took Shiennaran clothes, so he will no longer look like the thing that ticked off Matt.
That was my Prince and the Pauper
Perrin.
And
he's out there in the world.
Super well dressed. We didn't mention that. Man, he had some slick clothes on at the beginning.
Fancy gear.
He don't know Mo.
No.
So
nope.
We got a lot of prophecy in these 6 chapters here. So riddle me this. Before any of them start happening, Min makes the interesting observation that she used to see happy visions and all of those things have gone away.
That's not
right. That's a warning for where this book is headed.
Well, let's start with poor Leah. I mean, really.
So that's the first vision that she sees is Leah's decapitated head, which ended up not being her, just being conked on the noggin because Rand created an earthquake.
Stupid fade.
Min mentions that she always sees violence around Perrin. Yeah, which might be one of the reasons why people are trying to use that. Right, use that as a wedge between Perrin and his axe. We get a lot of the Carethan cycle.
I think Adam wants Perrin to keep that axe.
I do.
For some time
I want Perrin. I mean, if Forsaken are trying to tell Perrin to get rid of the axe, then I want him to keep it.
More importantly, I am wearing wolf socks right now, and I just want him to talk to the wolves.
I feel like you're always wearing wolf something, so that doesn't really matter.
No, I'm appropriate for the podcast. Dragon shirt, wolf socks.
That would have been really good to bring up during Wolf and Man, not during Riddle Me This.
I think we need pictures of this. I need pictures of the socks and the dragon shirt.
I won't wear anything else.
In chapter 6, we get a lot of the Carethan cycle from Moiraine. So she mentions that the possession of Kalendor will signify who the dragon is. Moiraine says that he shall slay his people with the sword of peace and destroy them with the leaf. Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Well,
who? His people? Right. Who?
Well, we know he has people. He has people now. He's got the Shienarans, and he has the dragon.
He's going to beat them over the head with a leaf.
Yeah,
he's going to come in with a tobacco leaf, and he's going to whap a tobacco leaf.
No, it seems like,
take this.
Like Avon de Sora leaf or something like that.
Who knows?
Okay.
I'm going with tabac.
The tree of life?
The export of the two rivers.
Seems like it would be the tree of life. That's the only leaf I know about.
Okay.
I have no clue if that's what it would be or not.
Well, we know the way of the leaf. We just got done talking about it at the beginning of this of this podcast. So there's another leaf.
Different. Yeah, he's going to destroy you with kindness.
Moiraine says that he shall bind the 9 moons to serve him.
I don't know.
Have we heard mention of the 9 moons?
We've heard the court of the 9 moons.
Court of the 9 moons,
twice. But I feel like it had to deal with Hawkwing's descendants from across the way.
Okay. I think we have heard of the Court of the Nine Moons. So that is interesting. So maybe he's supposed to bind the Shanchan to himself.
Let's hope, because I hate them.
Well, that'd be weird. I mean, it'd be weird for him to have them right. Exactly. They don't sound like they'd make great allies. So that's one.
I don't care anything about them. So
Moiraine mentions wounds of madness and cutting of hope. Has he healed? She mentions what chains has he broken and who put into chains.
Wounds of madness and cutting of hope. I don't remember that.
I just like the sounds of wounds of madness.
These are all right within the same paragraph. He's gonna break some chains and put somebody into chains.
Off.
Is he gonna put Alice into chains?
Oh, 2 chains references there in a row. 2 heavy metal chains.
2 chains.
2 chains.
Chains. That's like what's that band's name? I don't know because I don't listen to that music.
So
the band's name is 2 Chainz.
So that's the Carethan cycle, and then we get more of Min's conversation in her visions. Yeah. So and she has visions for Perrin. So
but not for Loyal.
So she has
not for Loyal.
She doesn't have any visions for Loyal?
No, because she can only read humans.
Oh, right.
Correct.
Good point.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Pat myself on the back.
Good call.
All right. Don't break your arm doing it. So
flexible.
So for Perrin looking into the future, because she says, hey, ever since you agreed to go on this journey, now there are these new things that I'm seeing. One of them is an Aiel in a cage.
Ever since you made that decision.
Right, yeah. Boop. A Tuatha with a sword.
Yeah.
What the heck? A female falcon and a female hawk perched on his shoulders.
And she warns that Perrin about.
And then she tells him, "Hey, by the way, if you see the most beautiful woman you've ever seen,
you must be
run!
the most beautiful girl in the world."
Yeah.
In stereo.
In mono.
Yeah,
right.
That's a lot. That's gonna probably happen in this book because it's all about Perrin.
Right. And then,
I guess.
And then she makes an interesting revelation about herself and Rand. She says that I'm bound to him as surely as a stave is bound to a barrel, but I can't see if he'll ever love me in return, and I'm not the only one.
She's got a little smoochy love for Rand.
She does not seem to be happy about this.
Why would you be? Would you want to share anybody?
I don't think that's what she's worried about. I think it seems like she's worried about wanting to be in a relationship in general.
I know. I think I don't think she... Okay, let me rephrase that. I think she is okay with being in a relationship.
Oh, no, she did mention before about you aren't the kind of guy that I'm usually into.
Right, but there's that. Okay, I think she succumbed to the fact that she's going to be in a relationship. I think she wishes she wasn't in a relationship with the guy that's going to, die on Dragonmount and save the world. But then she's got to share this guy with other women.
She's also
that's
mentioned
what she's not into.
She's also mentioned a couple of different times that Rand is not her type.
Right. Yeah.
So there's that.
Nonetheless, it is what it is. It
always is.
It's
she's
not who.
Danny.
Yes, that too. I mean, she doesn't want that, but okay, I've got to do what I got to do. But I don't want to share them with other people. Who does want to? That's
right. No, that's weird.
Yeah, it's not my bag, baby.
Yeah.
Right. And it's apparently not hers either.
No, she's not into that whole sharing is caring thing. So,
right.
I mean, it's
sharing and caring.
Right. Yeah. She wants to share and care by herself. But
the Care Bears.
She accepts that she's going to accept with the Care Bears and care is share power. Yeah. So, but apparently she knows that she's got to share Rand with other people.
Yeah, she knows.
Yep. Kudos to Min for standing up and all that.
If she knows it's going to happen, and she already seems like she knows. I might be wrong. It seems like she knows.
It's been known to happen.
One of the other ones is.
We're discovering this as we go along the primrose path, and we're tiptoeing among the tulips.
It seems like she already talked to Elaine. They've already talked about this, so she's one. So there's going to be another one.
Yeah, it could be Egwene, right?
I hope so. I really hope so. That'd be really sweet if it were. Maybe it could be.
Yeah,
I mean, they've been really trying to stab that dead pig many times, but I hope so.
What?
Flog that dead horse? Are you like Robert Jordan creating new aphorisms?
Dave,
aphorisms.
Anthony.
Nice
Hey,
word
Anthony,
choice.
Did you stab the dead pig? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Our next topic is our Coplin of the week.
Ooh, this is a tough call. My Coplin of the week is Rand.
Ooh. Okay.
Because wow. Okay. And
wow.
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 I'm going to go with wow.
Sarah.
So I'm going to go with, it's tough to say.
You're
Christopher Walken. I think it's.
You sounded more like Woody Allen.
It sounded like an amalgam of
it was a character of
New Yorkans.
Rand is. It's difficult because he's struggling through so much, but man, is he annoying.
Yep.
Agreed. He is feeling so sorry for himself.
Very much so, and it's. I can't imagine what he's going through because I've never been like the savior of the world. Yes. Jinx, buy me a Coke.
Maybe.
But at the same time, it's kind of like, dude, shut up.
Yes.
Like, stop trying to destroy all your friends at the same time through your power struggle with Sayadine and just accept the mantle of responsibility you're given. But I don't know what that's like. I've never been like, here, you're going to be the king of the world. Wear this crown. King nothing.
Wear this crown.
Yeah. Wear this crown. So, yeah. Wear the crown, king nothing. I've never had that moment. So, thank you. So, yeah. But it's annoying. It's annoying to me. So that's
that can we incorporate?
Thank you very much. Well, I'll get my Metallica riffs in when I can.
We've got a lot of it. This podcast is practically sponsored by them.
Sponsored by Metallica and not Napster.
So mine is Massima.
Not a bad call.
Gosh,
Massimo.
He is full on Rand.
Not Massimo. He's like, not a brand being sold
like,
at Target.
Hey Rand, how you doing?
Once upon a time at PAX Sun.
Once upon a time in Randville.
He is he has gone off the deep end. He has gone from somebody who looked at Rand askance to now being somebody who is bowing at the altar of Rand.
Not only drunk the Kool-Aid, he is making the Kool-Aid.
Well, yes, he is. He's very much Jim Jones, which makes me wonder if he's going to start handing out Kool-Aid to people at some point down the road.
Delicious. That's what it is.
So that guy is a problem.
He seems,
as I've said a couple of times during this podcast,
he just was real excitable.
Oh my word. I've had enough of him. He can go.
Do you think we're going to see more of him?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have. Yeah, the next thing that we're going to see of him is he's going to be trying to throw his son on an altar or something.
Oh, jeez.
So
this is for the people of the sun. See, I got Rage Against the Machine in there instead of Metallica, so you're set.
That's for you, Massima.
Adam, who have you got? Have you remembered the name?
There you go. Yeah. Joachim Carradine.
Joachim Carradine, yeah.
Joaquin Carradine.
Joaquin Phoenix?
Joaquin Carradine Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix.
He's jokering along the primrose path.
Yeah, this guy. He's a bad guy. He's a bad man.
But he's reaping his rewards.
Bad man.
Sure is. He's sowing his grapes.
Really?
Does one sow one's grapes?
Is that what that expression? First of all, I've never heard that expression.
Do they even make grape nuts anymore?
You definitely don't sow grapes. No, he just is greasy, and I don't like him.
With his E.
He's my Coplin of the week.
Yeah,
that's a good call.
You have both your feet dipped into White Cloak and then Dark Friend territory.
No, that's a good call. I mean, he's straddling two worlds.
Yeah,
and not well.
He does get to attend some awesome parties, though.
He does, but then he gets visited by Murdral, who are like,
also,
I'm going to tell you what to do.
And Balsamon takes over his mind.
If I had the opportunity to sit down next to him at a bar without any threat,
I'm sure he would stab you with a knife with a shiv.
Yeah.
In the knife he would stab you in the knife with a shiv?
Easy killer.
In my own knife.
Yes.
And then,
I have a fever
with a shiv.
Oh, wow.
I've got a fever. I'm going to stab you with a knife in the shiv.
He has some good stories, but the guy seems generally like a bad egg.
He's got to be unhinged.
Does he have some good stories? I mean,
of course he does.
Of
He's
course.
looking for both sides.
Yeah, but they
so
all
much information about everybody.
they all end with somebody, at the end of a rope or something.
I think in this case, it's going to end with his family at the end of a
But
rope.
I'd like to spend 30 minutes with him over some.
I would like to
Jim
know.
Bain.
I would like to know what got him into this. Like, at what given
Yeah.
point did you decide to throw your
Greed.
And did he ever talk to Ingtar?
right? Yeah, seriously. Are they in bed together?
No, it does seem like they don't talk to each other.
No,
right?
they don't.
No,
they
they're
don't
segmented.
seem to communicate with each other.
But I seriously, I wonder what
So
happened to
weird.
this guy
yeah,
because he's a zealot.
wasn't that enough?
Well,
Wasn't
what
being a white
happens
cloak
to it?
enough
Right,
evil in his
seriously.
life? He
Yeah.
had to find
no.
more.
I'm
What
not
happens to
crazy
you is
enough
that-
with these guys. I've got to go full on. Yeah, I'm not going to go that route because that's insulting.
What seems to happen is that the people that are in power for the Dark Friends or whatever, the Dark Lord, just make you seem like you're functioning on your own and that you are the most important person in the world.
Either that or that's who's attracted
No, I think it's
to
the most
this
beautiful
thing.
girl in the world.
Exactly. That is who is attracted to it because that is what they're offering.
Yeah, he
And
yeah.
we've seen that.
He's
Yeah.
Balsamon or whoever seems to be creating this sort of weird meritocracy of evil where like the only the vilest will survive. So
Seems to be working.
that is our Coplin of the week. Who
wow.
leveled up?
Yeah. Okay. Perrin.
Perrin leveled up. All right.
I'm with Perrin because
Going with parents.
Seeing as how Perrin seems to be getting a book, I would say yes.
Right? Yeah, Perrin seems to be the main point of focus. So yeah, that's who I'm going with.
Okay, though. So
Yo, I thought we were
What's
doing
up,
this
Wiki
rhyming
Wiki?
thing.
Perrin as a book, I want to eat it like a raw piece of steak. But Perrin is just fighting the fact that he wants to eat raw meat, and it really bugs me.
Okay, I was struggling with that analogy, but I got it at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. But then he's like, I'm going to eat some raw stuff after Moraine healed me. But yeah, Perrin leveling up is a great call.
Yeah, Perrin
Good call.
definitely levels
Aguado,
up.
good call. Yeah,
Good call.
yeah.
Mine is Rand.
Okay, yeah, I'm with that too.
Rand has some crazy powers, and even though he can't control them,
Not so well.
he still seems way more powerful than when we last saw him, which is weird to say because when we last saw him, he was killing
Whoever
sort
that
of
is,
the dude in the sky.
some guy, somebody.
He's now creating earthquakes and crashing mountains
Yeah,
and
Top of a mountain.
lighting
And
trees
you won't
on
be
fire and sensing Trollocs, even though he doesn't tell anybody. So he's doing a lot of the
Perrin
stuff that
both.
Moiraine was doing in
Right.
Eye of the World.
Yeah,
Now he is capable of doing all of that stuff, even though he can't control it. But he's
not well.
got the power.
Power.
He's got the power. Oh, that was so
There
good.
was three of us. There we go.
So that's my who leveled up. Who
Yeah.
you got, Adam?
I guess I got to go with Podrin.
Podden
From the
Fane?
No, not that guy. He's
Pedron
in this.
Niall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Niall, really?
Yeah,
The
Adam.
leader of the White Cloaks.
Adam likes acknowledging the leveling up of the
Yeah.
evil characters in
He's
these
on
books.
the dark.
It
Well,
should be.
we don't know. He isn't. We haven't established that he's evil.
We haven't?
Well,
No, I don't think so. He's not a dark friend that we
I didn't-
know of.
Well, that doesn't mean
Well,
you don't
that
have
we
to just
know
be a
of, yeah.
dark
I
friend to
think
be
he's
evil.
just. I think he's just. there's-
Misunderstood.
Life
not
has
misunderstood.
misunderstood me. I think he's just.
definitely not misunderstood.
He's misunderstood by the world except for him. The world through Gorb's eyes.
All
I
right.
think he's just.
World gore.
That's all right.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you for that
wrong.
reference.
It's
You can go
gore.
hang. You can go hang
Little
out with
raisins
Pedro
and
Niall
peanuts?
if you want
The
to.
world. Wait. The world according to Gore.
Thank you. I'm glad someone got that reference.
It's the wrong reference, though.
But it doesn't matter. My point.
I love it. No, I wish that were what it was called. Maybe I need to reread that. Maybe Gorp. Maybe
Garp.
Garp is just
Garp.
Gorp.
I think the
Good
my,
old raisins and peanuts.
good old
Yeah.
Raids and Peanuts. I think my
Peanut
point
Garp.
there is that like, how much do we know about Niall except for this little bit we've gotten from him? So we know he's not. We know he's not Bornhald because Bornhald seems to be more pragmatic. But Niall is convincing himself of whatever it is his mission is, and he's buying full throttle into that.
But he has a means to an end.
He does have a means to end, but I don't accept that his means to the end is Dark Friend means to the end.
Well, no, but that's
No,
so.
I'm
If you're
saying he's leveling up because he has grabbed his opportunity here to be able to put out forth what he wants.
Dave is not contradicting you.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not at all. But what is not getting recognized here, and this is the wonderful complexity that Jordan is developing.
I like that phrase, wonderful complexity.
Is that the evils in this world are not all the dark friends. And I think that the children are a bad element, and Pedro Niall is the head of them. So I don't think we have evidence that he's a dark friend, but I would still call him evil from the standpoint of he is going to get in the way of Rand saving the world.
I think, unfortunately, Pedro Niall seems to be misled by his own convictions.
Well, whatever leads him to being a problem, he's a problem.
He is a problem.
And the problems for the good saving the world or whatever.
He's taken the information that he's given, and he's twisted it to his own.
We could probably say that for the Forsaken.
Leader of all that.
That's rationalization.
Pedro Niall
sure
absolutely cannot understand the fact that he is corrupt because he can't see it.
No,
I love.
No, nobody's saying that he.
Brought up from
no one's saying that he recognizes he's an evil character.
Some people do.
Very few. Very few.
I think. Well, Shaitan.
Most of them are heroes in their own stories.
What is this, like Iago?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we bringing up Iago at this point?
No.
No, I know we're not.
Iago?
The greatest villain of all time.
Yeah, that's not in this book, yeah.
No, it's not.
I was confused.
But the reason I chose him for leveling up is that he was meeting with this guy, and then he just totally took him over.
Yes.
He questions why he did not take his own horses to Falma to try to stop Bornhold. And he says that, like, his response was it was only rumors. It was just I feel like now, like, actually captured that situation and made it his own.
Yeah.
I don't like Pedro Niall, but yes, I love the fact that he takes him and puts him in his spot because, well, I don't know that we know enough about Niall to think that he's a dark friend, but we obviously know that the other guy's dark friend, so, screw that guy.
He approaches that conversation with Corridon very, very well because Corridon goes with a very, very confident, with incredible confidence in himself,
and he leaves
and
with
Niall
so
breaks him down very, very well.
So good. It's written so well.
It's fantastic.
You just think that guy is so confident.
And then he leaves it with me like his boots are shaking.
So that wraps up our 18th episode in the beginning of the Dragon Reborn, with Rand finally acknowledging exactly who he is.
Oh my word, how long did that take? Good grief.
An entire book.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening to episode 18. Join us next episode when we will be covering chapters 7 through 12 of the Dragon Reborn. Until then, may you shelter in the palm of the Creator's hand.
Bye.